there is really a market for just about anything. So, what you enjoy doing, do it and just give it a shot and go all in and see if you can find buyers. Where just figure out where that market is, whether that's Facebook Marketplace or Etsy, or there's a lot of different avenues to sell.
If you've been on Instagram in the last couple of months, it is very likely that you saw one of your favorite makers using one of today's guests' files for Mother's Day. They were hugely popular with the birth flowers and the handprints, and I saw them everywhere. So I recently sat down with Liz Olson to talk about how she got into file making with her laser, which was not her original intent. We had a great conversation about really following your heart and working on what you want to work on and letting that be your guide as you grow your business. I hope you enjoy it. I am so excited to welcome today Liz Olson from Bella Collective. Welcome, Liz. If you want to go ahead and just introduce yourself and tell us your shop name and what you do currently.
So, I am Liz of Bella Collective, and that's my shop name. Very soon I'll have a website up. So, I'm only on Etsy right now, but I do SVG laser files.
So you have been doing this for how long?
Laser files for about 2.5 years. I
Okay.
started right after COVID. So, yeah,
Right
just even
after COVID.
yes.
When I think of your shop, I think of two things. I think of beautiful, like earring files and stand files. And I think of embroidery files. Is that
Yeah.
what you think that you're known for?
It's been in phases. I did start with the earring stands and then moved on to embroidery. And right now, I'm just having a lot of fun playing around with scoring files. So, using my own hand drawn art and getting to do that. I feel like I have three main focuses right now.
Your shop has been really successful. So I would love to hear the journey of
Yeah.
one, did you just buy a laser because you thought it would be fun?
Mhm.
And did you know you were going to make files? How did that all play out? And how has your shop grown?
Yeah, so I did not expect to be doing laser files. That was just a complete surprise. But I had seen Glowforge way back in the Kickstarter days and had just always thought, oh my gosh, that would be so cool to own. I would love to work with that. But I'm one of those like serial entrepreneurs. I've had an Etsy store for the last 12 years.
Did you buy the laser with the intent to make it part of a business?
I did. And I do sell these files in my shop now. But what I originally bought it for my play therapy toys was to laser onto little wooden peg dolls. So to make like emotion faces and yeah, toys that I could use in therapy, but specifically on those like tiny little wooden pegs. So at the time when I bought my Glowforge, I was running a little play therapy toy business. I had my master's in counseling and was interning at the time at a play therapy center. So I was like, okay, I could use my laser and I could justify it as a business expense. And yeah, so that's why I bought it. And then it was just one of those classic. I bought it in February. COVID hit in March. And then I was one of the earlier cases in St. Louis that turned into just a really long health journey for me. So I own my laser, but for probably 12 months, it just sat there while I was recovering and just trying to jump back into life and getting ready. And so it was actually designing files was like the first thing I had energy for when I was starting to feel healthy enough again. And so I thought I could lay on my couch and do this work. And so just threw some files up there to see what would happen. And it took off right away. I was experimenting a lot with that at the beginning and do have those files available in my store. But that's what I assumed I would branch off into until I started selling files. So that kind of went out the window. All right, we'll do this file thing instead.
I feel like no one ends up where they started from anyone
Yeah.
I've talked to.
Yeah. Ever since I've just been devoting time to files.
You have a really unique and very distinct style. I generally, if I'm going to guess, I can usually guess one of your files when I see it out in the wild. How did you land on that? Do you have graphic design experience? Do you have an art practice? How did you get there?
Right. No, I've just always really appreciated like modern, really clean, simple designs. So when I started, I looked around and thought, okay, I don't really see anyone doing, or very few people just doing like really minimal yet modern. So just decided to go that route. And it's funny because it's not really my personal style at home. So I do feel a little bit conflicted with, okay, I'm putting out this design that I love, but I also it's a little different than what I choose to decorate with and stuff. Yeah, it just it
What's your design style at home?
a little bit less, like, bright and colorful,
Okay.
and I love I've always loved designing for kids, and when I was doing the play therapy toys, just had a lot of fun with color and exploring just bright I've got this stuff here on my shelf, probably just doesn't really fit in my house. But that's okay, I really love it. Yeah, I do a lot of, dark greens and dark wood, but, yeah, with laser stuff, I'm just a lot more bright.
That's funny. So you don't have a design background.
No, I do not.
So how did you learn all of this? You have a lot of beautiful hand-drawn things, and your files are very easy to use, so you must have learned somewhere.
Something I've done for a long time now is every year I set a new goal of something I want to learn. I don't have a design background, and a couple years ago just set the goal of I would love to learn Adobe Illustrator. I feel like that would be really valuable to just understand how to use. So it coincided with owning a laser and it was perfect. Yeah, self-taught and I really enjoy the niches and figuring out I didn't see a ton of people doing scoring files. So I thought, okay, if I could figure out how to practice how to draw, I don't draw. I'm not like a really artsy person that way, but yeah, I think what motivates me is seeing where not a lot of people have gone and thinking like, okay, I want to try to figure that out and see if I can do it.
I think a lot of people would be curious on how you do that research because I feel like a lot of people want to do different things, but they don't know how to not see the same things all the time, if that makes sense. Once you start getting into something, you start seeing all the same things, so you think it's all done. So how do you go about that research?
That's a good question. Something I just have been naturally good at through the years is seeing a design and knowing how I can make it better. Or just, okay, I like how they did that, but I'm going to tweak it to make it just a little bit better, put my own twist on it. Because there really is nothing new out there. I
Yeah.
think I'm just motivated to all right, how can I make it a little better or a little more unique? I don't have here is my step-by-step process. I usually just look at something and I'm like, all right, how could I tweak this and make this a little better?
You said you're a serial entrepreneur and you've been on Etsy. Did you say 12 years?
Yeah, a long time now.
So walk me through that journey because I think that probably shows up a lot in your shop because your shop is just a beautiful Etsy shop. It's very
Yeah.
easy to tell. Oh, it's a very cohesive shop. Talk to me about your Etsy journey and your entrepreneurship.
Like, okay, so entrepreneurship starts way back at the beginning. My parents are both entrepreneurs. I grew up just selling everything I could think to sell. They were so supportive, which is awesome. But yeah, Etsy started, let's see, that was right after college for me. I was working at a teen rehab center and I was a live-in staff to all of these teen girls and wanted to teach some small business skills. So I hadn't learned Etsy at that point and thought, all right, I want to learn Etsy. Let's see if we can help them learn Etsy and maybe be motivated to see, oh, I could have this other path in life or yeah, just to learn how to create. And so I started a store for all of us together. And so we would, on our craft nights, we would all make stuff and then I'd put it up to sell. And it was just a fun little project. After I was done working at that place, then I just continued the store. And I think, let's see, we started with headbands and crocheted stuff and knit things, just all over the map. Yeah.
And so with the laser files, is that your full-time gig now?
Laser files is the first work that I jumped back into. And then because it took off, I just thought, let's see how long this will last. Let's see if I grow this into something. And yeah, I didn't expect to be full time, but it's been really a great thing to just have a lot of flexibility and I can work when I want. And yeah, I'm loving it.
When you think about your days, how do you like to structure your days?
I'm the type of person that loves a lot of freedom. I do not have schedules. I just wake up and feel like, all right, what do I want to do today? So with laser files, I've built up my shop enough to where I usually spend a week, a month designing, and then what's really all I need to put in it at this point. So right now, how I'm spending my spring and summer is actually on learning new techniques. So I'm not necessarily putting out new files, but we took the same course and yeah, just really getting to enjoy learning and building into my own knowledge to be able to bring that into the laser world.
What do you hate in your business?
Oh, I hate social media. Years. Oh, man. Yeah, I just do not have the personality for it. Just it is a struggle for me to write captions and post on a schedule. Ugh, that is my least favorite thing.
But it sounds like your Instagram is successful. You're
Yeah.
bringing in enough traffic. One of the things when I talk to people about their business as they're starting up a laser business, one of the things I say is you need the business to work for you. And if social media is not your place, then you need to figure out the other things that will bring you traffic. And how do you do that? That's why Etsy is such a great marketplace because people
Mhm.
are going there with intent to buy.
I encourage people starting out, start on Etsy. I know there's negatives, but the amount of advertising they do for you is far outweighs everything negative, in my opinion.
Yeah. And instead of learning how to do the next trend on Instagram, you learn how to do your SEO correctly or
Right.
how to
Yeah.
take better pictures or whatever it is that helps you that way. Right now, you have files. Are there any other things that you're selling currently or have intent to sell?
Nothing currently, but something, yeah, just an exciting new branch off for me is because I'm so focused on scoring files, it easily translates into fabric and other surface pattern design. So I'm starting a spoon flower shop and just trying to see, okay, how can I translate my designs in the laser world, bring them over to the fabric world? So that hasn't launched yet, but that's what I'm in the process of doing right now.
A lot of people turn their hobby into their business and then they're like, "Ugh, I don't want to do this anymore." So
Mhm,
adding those
mhm,
things that can help keep you creative and challenged are a nice thing to be able to add into your business.
mhm.
Do you sell on any other channels currently? You said you're working on your website.
Working on my website, but no, I'm not. So I've looked into places like design bundles and other kind of similar to Etsy storefronts, but I really like that I can keep my licensing specific. So with my files, I don't want other people to have the chance to take them and alter them and then sell the file.
Yes.
So right now I'm pretty set on just sticking with Etsy.
And how did you start in the embroidery? I feel like the wood embroidery is so unique. And how did you start that?
That was the first time I'd ever embroidered. It was not something like I had a previous experience in. Watching an Illustrator tutorial, and the YouTuber was at the point showing you how to turn your lines into dots, and I looked and I was like, "Wait a second. If I can turn any line into a dot, you can make holes for needles. Is anyone doing that?" So, I looked around, and at the time, no one else in the laser world was doing it that I could find. Other people were using, like, hammers or little drills to make the holes in their wood. So I thought, "Hey, doesn't seem like anyone's doing this. Let's give it a shot and see if it could work." I had no idea, so I went out and bought needles, see thread, and it worked. Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that. Yeah, because I think that was the first time that I found you, was I
Mm,
saw something with one of your embroidery files, and I was like, "That is so unique. I've never seen anything like that." And
yeah.
it just really stood out, which I enjoyed.
It was just so fun to get to figure out, and it worked.
What was the first thing that happened that you were like, "This could be successful. I could actually do this"?
Yeah, it was the first group of files that I put together. My gut was, "Okay, if I release some files, I need to do it in a collection because I feel like then I could get bigger amounts of money for the downloads." I think I had 10 files that were 10 earring stands. I put those out there, and in that first month was like, "Oh my gosh." I didn't make a ton of money, but enough that was like, "Okay, this is significant." I feel like if I focused on this bundling thing and just trying to see what products aren't out there right now, then this could become a thing. It was really in that first month getting to see, okay, people actually want to buy these. And yeah, it was a really fun season.
When you think about new laser owners starting out, and most likely they probably want to make a physical product business, what advice would you give them about starting out?
Just an encouragement that there is really a market for just about anything. So, what you enjoy doing, do it and just give it a shot and go all in and see if you can find buyers. Where just figure out where that market is, whether that's Facebook Marketplace or Etsy, or there's a lot of different avenues to sell. And I'm really passionate about following what you enjoy. I think at least I started out with the mindset of, all right, we got to get strategic and we have to make a plan and stick to the plan. But really, I've found over the years that it is actually very strategic to follow what you enjoy because that's going to lead you down a path that you want to go and you'll be excited for. And so, yeah, start off with things that you enjoy making, find the market, and just see what happens.
I think that's really helpful too, because one thing that I see a lot frustration around is people who feel like they're chasing holidays.
Yeah.
And I would say that your shop doesn't do that at all. That's not how I think of your shop. If I need a St. Patrick's style, I'm going to her shop. No, I think I need a beautiful gift, I would go to your shop. So I think that is something I see a lot is people feeling like they have to chase holidays because that's a lot of the advice that's out there for Etsy. And so I think that's a really nice encouragement to say, no, find what you want to make and what you love and figure that out and then go with that.
Yeah, and then I feel like for sure do some holiday sales. There's a lot of Christmas. You can't miss out on
Yeah.
Christmas. Yeah, for sure. But to have more like evergreen products that will be available for gifting at any time of the year, I think is also pretty smart to focus on.
When you were starting out with your laser, what did you test with? Were you all wood? Did you have a gut instinct of, I just want to play with wood or I want to play with this? Or what did you start with?
Well, it's interesting. So my earring stands were almost all acrylic. And yeah, I was more so not as concerned about the material as like looking for products that weren't already created. So I think I was just more focused on, oh, earring stands? I don't see a ton of files for those. Let's go there. And acrylic, I think that's pretty. I think that's prettier than a lot of the ones I'm seeing. And oh yeah, and I remember I did a lot with Equate acrylic. And I was just trying to brainstorm. Like, I bought too much of it and was like, what do I do with this stuff? How do you use up quarter-inch white acrylic? So I was like, wait a second, those could be the stands for my earring stands. Okay, no one's really doing that yet. I think that's pretty. So yeah, just a mix of experimenting with the overflow that I had, trying to get rid of it and focusing on the products.
What was the most exciting day so far in this business?
Ooh, most exciting. That is a great question. I feel like there's a couple moments that stick out to me, and they usually have to do with things that I wasn't sure if they were gonna sell or not, and then watching them just sell really well. I found that a lot of my best marketing happens in the laser Facebook groups. Of course, it's like a give and take. You don't wanna just be marketing yourself there without giving back to the community and helping others that are starting. But when I posted my first set of embroidery files, I posted in the Facebook groups and just got a really positive response. Yeah, I remember I was sitting in my living room on the couch and just feeling, people love this. This is great. I love it. Yeah. So I think that's the first moment that stands out. And then actually more recently, so I just had my biggest month of sales ever. And it was, I don't focus on the holidays, you're right. But I put out some Mother's Day files and really didn't know what was going to happen with them. And they went viral. I feel like it's too big of a word, but they just
No, I
sold.
saw them everywhere. I was like, "Oh, that's her file. Oh, I see that. I know that file."
So this whole month has just been such an unexpected, really fun. Yeah, just so fun when watching the sales come in. And when on a time that I'm really not focusing on laser stuff right now. So it's just been really sweet to be like, I'm not putting any work in and look what's happening. Oh, this is so fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you worry at all about copycats? And how do you think about that in your day?
Yeah. So I've had a lot of copycats with my other stores I've done on Etsy. Like probably 6 or 7 years ago now, one of my sisters and I were selling jewelry and we figured out how to work with manufacturers and we were just selling really well. And we got ripped off so much. So I feel like I'm coming from a background of that's just expected and the time and energy that it takes to like file takedown notices or like it's just as draining. And I've done it a few times for my files, but honestly, I just don't search anymore. I feel like I'll find people if I look for them. I'm just not going to spend my time there.
Like we said, you have to choose what's worth your time in your business and what's not. And if you're achieving what you want to, then it doesn't matter. How do you delight your customers?
I really, because I've been on the product selling end of it, I have appreciated so much when I just have everything I need in order to start selling right away. So that was the mentality I entered in with files was I just want to give people who buy my files everything that they would need to just sell and sell really well. So being able to provide a picture, like a really nice picture, I know how much that impacts my sales. So yeah, just having fun thinking of different ways of, okay, include that. The further I get along, the more like free things I like to include just because it's just nice to do that. So, yeah, I put curve guides in with a lot of my files now and instructions for them, instructions for their customers. Yeah, I just really try to think through what would I have appreciated and how can I do that?
I think that's a great piece of advice too, just even for physical product sellers is how are you serving that customer, right? If you think of it as that customer is not just buying your product, they're buying anything else that they need to be able to use it. How do you think about that? Yeah.
And even it's just so fun opening up mail with like little extra stickers or little things that really don't take that much time to add. I know how much I love that. So, yeah, just thinking through what do I like and how can I do that well?
Who is your support system in your day to day and how do they support you? And how would you encourage others as they get started to ask for support?
That's a good question. I have a big family. I'm the oldest of 6, so I've got a bunch of sisters that I'm, like, constantly calling and texting. My family has always been a source of encouragement, especially for business stuff, just because of how we grew up, and my parents are entrepreneurs, and they all get the business world, which I love. But then that is something right now that I'm trying to figure out how to find support well for people who are in my own industry. I don't have a great answer yet, but I'm searching right now. I think an ideal thing for me would be to find like maybe a mastermind group or just a group of other people that don't have to necessarily be file sellers, but understand the art world and can form a community around that. So I'm not in one yet, but I'm looking.
Very good. Maybe someone in the comments will give us some ideas. What's your best piece of advice for someone new to lasering?
New to lasering. I think, yeah, my best piece of advice would still be follow what you enjoy. Find what sounds fun to try to figure out and make and do it and learn from it and go to the next thing you really enjoy. And then I always encourage if you are making physical products in your store, learn how to do files or learn how to sell that file. It has just been like I've been blown out of the water at how many sales I'm getting just from files. And I jump on this bandwagon. I just feel, "Hey, guys, sell your files, like, you could do really well."
Yeah.
I've just so much appreciated the time freedom, and I can work from anywhere. So, if you're thinking about selling files, I would say jump in and go for it and just see what would happen.